Kind of pushed out the music there, didn't it? Got the Critter mic wide open. Good evening, everybody. This is Boiler Room Radio. You're listening to live radio UCY.TV Wednesday night. As usual, thank you, Dana, for your show. I'm getting the echo feedback because of my Critter mic. And I don't really hear anything except my Berkey dripping. So I think I'll cut that back. But anyway, this is Boiler Room Radio, and I am Jim Funke, your host. We'll be together for the next 2 hours, and the phones are already wide open, 718-717-8296. After we go through Mr. Lance Musser's Smoke'em's Market Minute, we're going to start talking about this Bundy situation. I just watched a video that Lance dropped me, about 10 minutes long. I'm getting ready to drop it in the chat room while he's doing his Smoke'em's Market Minute. Good evening, Lance, by the way.
Good evening.
How are you?
Wonderful.
The video was amazing. It was good to see the people standing up. You know, I saw tasers fired at innocent people standing there just trying to voice their opinion about something and tell these feds to go away because they're not wanted on this property. And pretty nasty stuff. They threw a 58-year-old lady to the ground for no reason, just because she was trying to ask a couple of questions. Tasered her.
Taking pictures.
Tasered a couple other guys, and the tasers didn't work. They just spun around and broke the wires and threw them back in their faces and said, "Get the F out of here." It's good to see. You know, guy letting his dog lunge. One lady run up right into his face and said, "If you turn that dog loose, pal, I'm going to sue your ass."
Yeah, I heard that.
That was great. Just great. So anyway, we're going to talk about that for the entire 2 hours tonight. Well, hour and 90 minutes, or hour and 40 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, 30 minutes, something like that. Whenever we get done with Smoke'ems. So take it away, Mr. Lance Musser.
All right. If keeping up with the illusion of a healthy stock market, if you had a 401k, it went up today. Whee. And if you're trying to buy a home, again, it got a little bit more expensive today. But it's so interesting because the China markets are actually booming right now. And it's because of the Federal Reserve, because they're playing down their own forecast on the rate rise. So they kind of clarified, and I want to read this here because this is actually one of the most fascinating things I've read today. And I want you to see if you can pick up on all the doublespeak. The Federal Reserve played down forecasts by some of its own policymakers that interest rates might rise faster than they previously predicted. Now here, listen to this double talk and see if you, when I get done, see if you even have comprehended anything that I just said. Several participants noted that the increase in the median projection overstated the shift in the projections, according to the minutes of the March 18th, 19 minutes meeting of the Fed Open Market Committee, the FOMC.
What?
Hold on.
Sorry.
Some expressed concern the rate forecast could be misconstrued as indicating a move by the committee to a less accommodative reaction function. Quote, unquote. So apparently if they just talk in enough doublespeak and make it sound official, then nobody will ask any questions. I guess that's what I'm getting out of this. Did you get anything out of what I just read?
No, I did. What?
U.S. stocks have rallied the most in a month while treasuries declined after the minutes eased concerns. Even after the rates rise, officials said last month they might be kept at levels considered below normal for longer because of tighter credit, higher savings, and slower growth in potential output. So we're going to raise rates, but not really. We're going to keep them low. The minutes reinforced Yellen's message, old Yellen, at her debut press conference last month, which displayed as a series of dots on a chart. But they've said those are less important than the Fed's post-meeting statement. She was pretty blunt about it. Pay attention to the statement. Don't look at the dots. makes sense.
Oh my God, it's hanging chads.
They knew this could be a source of confusion with the dots moving up, and they were thinking about how to manage that. So again, don't look at the charts. Just listen to what we say, but don't look at anything on what's happening. The Fed in March, and we talked about this, reduced the monthly pace of purchases by another 10 billion, remember? And it's down to 55 billion. But I ask you again, mortgages are down 65% across the country. There's not even 55 billion being originated every month. Where's this money going? While there was a general agreement that the slack remains DARPA. Well,
sorry,
could be. It could be where who's missing $6 billion.
Oh, the Fed or no, the Pentagon.
No, Pentagon. No, State Department. Yeah, well, Pentagon. Yeah, State Department.
Pentagon's up in the trillions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's up in the trillions. What's the guy's name on the bicycle? Not the bicycle, the motorcycle. John Moore. Is that his name?
Yeah.
John Moore. And he's had some pretty good people on there.
He's up there in Missouri.
Exactly. In the underground bunker, as he likes to start off his show.
Yep.
He had somebody on his broadcast the other night that said a few days there's going to be something big happening in the financial market, and be ready for it.
When did he say this? Today?
Yesterday or day before. And he was saying the 11th, which is Friday.
Ooh.
And usually his guests are pretty, credible a lot of times.
He's an ex-military guy. He's got some insider contacts and whatnot. I mean,
he does.
I don't take everything he says as gospel, but he's got some good info.
I don't either. And I read that article and I listened to a little bit of it, didn't put a whole lot of stock in it, and then read something else that, you've probably read this, Ukraine gives Russia 48 hours notice.
Yeah.
Today.
For what? 48 hours to what? Flush a toilet? What? What are you going to do?
Those buildings that the Russian protesters have taken over. They want them back. They want Russia to pull away from the border. So they're talking big right now, and they've given them 48 hours.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, that would put us in the same time frame as Friday for the other guy. So could, something feed into each other? I don't know. We'll see what happens on Friday. So we'll have a show then. But I thought it was interesting enough to just put it out there. That they have 48 hours, and then John Moore's guest said that something
you want us to pull our troops back from someplace that we're legally supposed to be or legally can be, just because you don't feel good about it. Come on, acting like a bunch of 5-year-olds. All these heads of state are just a bunch of panty waists.
And they said that they're there just doing exercises, and it's nothing to worry about anyway.
That's right.
Which is same thing Americans always say.
That's right. We're here to bomb some freedom into your ass. Hang on a minute.
If they can do it, why can't, or we can do it, why can't they?
Right.
My last little story, which is interesting, it's on oil. Houston fills with crude oil that can't be shipped out. And I never heard of this, and you may have. So when I get to it, please interject. Houston and the rest of the U.S. Gulf Coast have more crude oil than the region can handle. Stockpiles in the region centered on Houston and stretching New Mexico in the west and Alabama in the east rose to 202 million barrels in the week ending April 4th, the most on record. Energy Information Administration data released yesterday shows.
Don't, man, you can't say this too loud. Otherwise, BP will start spilling the shit all over the place.
Storage tanks are filling as new pipelines carry light, sweet oil found in shale formations to the coast, and the U.S. law keeps companies from moving it out. Most crude exports are banned, and the 13 ships that can legally move oil between U.S. ports are booked solid. The Federal Jones Act, and that's the word I'd never heard before, restricts domestic seaborne trade to vessels owned, flagged, and built in the U.S. and crewed by U.S. citizens. You can't get all that light, sweet crude out. It's all kind of piling up, said Jeff McGee, founder of Mackay Marine Advisors, LLC in Dallas, who previously led research at 2 shipbrokers and worked as a refiner. You couldn't find a Spot Jones Act ship to save your life right now. So there's 13 ships that can transport oil between the states.
Right.
Because of this Jones Act. And
so what, they go from Houston around to the East Coast or around to the West Coast or
through the canal?
Right, I got you.
Right.
I got you. But they're only allowed to go state to state inside the U.S. and carry the crude.
Yep. 13 tankers can haul crude domestically out of a global fleet of 2,400, according to the U.S. Department of Transportation Maritime Administration.
Gee, the Jones Act ships. I wonder who owns those ships. I wonder whose congressman's uncles, sons, nephews, aunts, brother-in-law owns one of those ships. I mean, how many of those? Yeah, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Well, it's funny because some people are trying to lift this while others in Congress and stuff are trying to extend it. The Jones Act, a 94-year-old law, requires all domestic seaborne trade to be shipped on vessels, crewed, citizen, and owned, flagged, and built in the U.S. Meanwhile, a 1975 law bans most overseas U.S. crude shipments, while supplies to Canada, one of the exceptions allowed, have risen to a record. The U.S. exports 3% of the oil it produces, Energy Department data shows. Neither law will change soon. Mariners' unions and domestic shipping companies say the Jones Act is critical to national security. Lawmakers are discussing ways to extend rather than curtail it, such as requiring liquefied natural gas exports to go on U.S. ships. So I just thought that was fascinating. I had no idea about the Jones Act, and they're saying because it's piling up, though, it's going to drop $5 or it's going to be $13 a barrel cheaper.
Yippee!
Because of it backing up so much, and that's according to a Bank of America forecast.
So we'll wait to see all these prices drop down to $2.50 a gallon, right?
Hell, man, I ain't seen our stuff's gone up 6 cents this week. We're at like $3.51, I think.
Buying bulk off the rack, it's $3.56 here, I think, or it was 2 weeks ago when I got my tank filled.
Well, we got it pretty cheap.
It's like $3.71.
Yeah, it's always cheaper by about 20 cents or so when you go out Midwest. I noticed that when I went out to Indiana, and that's because it comes right into here to our port. I mean, we have an Exxon plant right here, refinery, not even 5 miles from my mom and dad's house. So our gas is a lot cheaper here.
Very cool.
And that's it. That's my story. I thought that was the Jones Act one. I'd never heard of it. So if anybody'd like to research it, I think it's a sham that's going on. I mean, that's a lot of jobs, a lot more American jobs. They get that unemployment rate down to 6.3%. They open up the oil.
All those people just got laid off from Blockbuster Video or wherever the hell else closed. Yeah, you guys can all go start working crude.
People in the room are talking about that video too. They're really liking it.
Yeah, that was something to see, man.
Oh, it's awesome. And there's going to be more. There's going to be more. There's reinforcements, civilian, on the way to help those people out even more.
Mm-hmm. When they said that one of the Ranger cars was from Oregon.
What?
All the way from Oregon to Texas to flex his muscles and fire his taser at civilians.
Well, they killed the cattle, from what I understand, or a lot of them.
I don't know. Well, I know they. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with them, man. I've been outside working on my house.
Yeah, I've been outside doing a land survey all day. So,
all right,
that's what we call them when we go out and play golf during the day.
Land survey.
Yeah, we're going out to do a land survey.
So we're going to give Scott his 2 minutes and 13 seconds right now, and away from whoopsie. Hang on a minute. Let me go over here and shut up the room. Forgot to hit the mute up here. Oh, now I got to back the video up because Scott didn't have an ad.
Hello, this is Scott and this is a Hype Report. Today's report is sponsored by the free book Ramblings of a Madman. Here are the quotes for various items.
Yeah, some music in the background.
First,
now.
Indian farmers. The Reserve Bank of India is discouraging banks from using agricultural land as collateral in loans. To that end, Indian banks are now pushing farmers to back loans with gold as collateral. Of course, once the gold is given to the banks and the loan is paid off, will the farmers get their gold back? Next, lockdown. Gold is in the fourth week of a price lockdown with no reason to support the price suppression. The fundamentals of gold are absolutely rock solid. The continuous printing of currency has now led to a seriously overvalued and extremely vulnerable U.S. stock market. The problem for Western central planners is that they can only distort reality for so long before it blows up in their face. Next, Tax Freedom Day. The day when the nation collectively has made enough to pay its total tax burden for the year is April 21st. Thanks to all the new Obama-rec taxes, it is 3 days later than last year. Of course, if deficit spending is also calculated into the mix, then the date would have to be moved far later into the year.
Yeah.
Next, you can't eat gold and silver. When a real crisis arises, priorities change very rapidly and people are not going to want to trade you their precious food no matter how much gold and silver you may have. So, now is the time to get prepared while food prices are still relatively low. Also, if for some reason nothing happens, you still got food at a lower cost. Thus, it is a win-win situation. Next, War on Cash Media Blitz. The war on cash continues. To that end, the never-ending barrage of excuses from cash being dirty to easily stolen gets trumpeted by sycophants in the media. Governments like electronic money payment systems that they can monitor. However, they do not like electronic monies and payment systems they cannot monitor. Next, Holder goes Nazi SS. Before they were sent to concentration camps, Jews were ordered to sew Jewish armbands known as the yellow badge on their outer garments. Now, Eric Holder wants a 21st century equivalent for legal gun owners. He wants legal gun owners to wear electronic bracelets to use their guns so that they can likely be tracked by the Department of Injustice. Just an idea. However, it would be nice if Holder and Obama were forced to wear ankle bracelets after being in jail. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.
I don't know. What do you think about the music in the background?
I think he needs to turn it down just a little bit and get a different tune, not with so much beat.
Yeah, not with so many cymbals. Tad distracting.
It is, especially if you're listening to it without watching it.
Yeah. Hey,
and I'll say something on Holder too.
I have an echo.
I don't know.
Boom.
I dropped the video to you, but I'm sure a lot of the listeners haven't seen any of his depositions. But there was a senator that was grilling him yesterday and talking to him about contempt. And that arrogant son of a bitch was
you don't want to go there, buddy.
Don't go there, buddy.
And I was like, buddy, if I was that congressman, I would have stood up and said, you call me sir when you speak to me. You are a public servant, as am I. However, I'm elected. You're not. So you speak to me with respect when you're in these chambers. You criminal.
It was
very testy. Very, very testy.
And indicative of how the government gets away with everything that they get away with, because they're asked a question, they don't answer it.
Yeah.
And
it's like a big FU, man.
And then you move on. I mean, what the hell? That's why these people are never held responsible for anything.
I think their day's coming.
We know that.
It's coming.
Yeah, we know that.
So, Greg Manarino, the Fed rescues the U.S. stock market. No surprise here. It's only 5.5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and let him roll just because,
Sweet.
I need to take a drink and do some other stuff. So here we go.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Greg Manarino. How are you today? It is Wednesday, April 9th, 2014. All right, people. What a surprise. I mean, seriously. I'm referring to the equity markets here in the United States. Let's start with this. Last Friday, we had a significant sell-off in the U.S. equity market, which then proceeded to continue through Monday. Yesterday, nothing really happened too much. But today, we heard from the Fed, and the market went nuts. I had said in the last video or two that you can expect something like this to happen, either the Warren Buffetts to come out and try to boost this market, or a member of the Fed or something. Well, we got it today. What I'm referring to is this, the Fed minutes. And basically it comes down to this, people. It's very simple. The Federal Reserve will not allow in any way, shape, or form this market to normalize or to correct. All they're concerned with is boosting equity prices. It's part of the illusion, keeping interest rates suppressed so they can service the interest on our nearly $18 trillion of debt. That's all this is. So from one perspective, you can say, hey, this is absolute desperation, and that's really what it is. And the other perspective is it's just the fostering of further distortions in this market. The Federal Reserve is absolutely determined to force cash into places where it shouldn't go under normal circumstances,
like bankers'
further
pockets,
moving away the overall markets from fundamentals. And again, all this will do as time plays out is create a larger, more devastating problem. Again, we have asset bubbles everywhere. I mean, it's even on the mainstream media now. But it really doesn't matter. At least right now in the short term, the Fed is absolutely going to keep this market buoyed up, will not allow this market to correct. And it's very dangerous. We understand that. What did we see today? Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished up, I think, 180 or 180 points. We did see some cash move out of bonds. It's amazing to actually follow this and see how this is playing out here. It's crazy, to really sit back here and look at what's going on. And again, this is an election year, so it is, I think, paramount, in the Fed's, playbook here to keep everything looking rosy. And who knows what will happen after the elections. We understand with Obamacare, we've seen 1,000 changes to this law. It doesn't even resemble its initial form in any way. And the Federal Reserve, in the same kind of context today, in the minutes, has shown us they will continue to move goalposts and bolster this market by printing cash out of thin air into oblivion to try to keep the illusion going. And this is going to boost equities. So right now we are back into a risk on trade environment here. There's almost, really, it's almost no risk if you think about it, because the Fed will not allow the market to do anything with regard to normalizing. We had heavy technical damage done to this market on Friday. Sell-off would follow through on Monday. Didn't matter at all. The Fed stepped in again, and we said we knew this was going to happen. I went over this with all of you, and blew sunshine up the crack of this market, and we got today's rally, which I think has a strong possibility of continuing beyond any shadow of any doubt. I would not be surprised at this point to not only see the market regain all-time record highs, but surpass them over the next couple of weeks here. So what are we going to do, people? Well, we're going to just play their game too. And that's that. And again, what this will do, in my opinion, is continue to keep pressure on precious metals. And again, this is an incredible opportunity for us to keep adding to those positions beyond any shadow of any doubt. And I really hope you're all doing that. We should be thrilled about the action that the Federal Reserve has undertaken and how they will continue to distort this markets and push cash out of certain assets and into other ones. And we're just going to take advantage of that across the board. It's that simple, people. What else? I think that's pretty much it, people, for today. Let's see how this plays out. Very interesting stuff going on here. Funny too. With that said, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Okay. Enough of the market shit. We're jumping into this Bundy thing. I don't know if you got her to call in or not, Lance, but Lance has a friend on Facebook that's pretty into this stuff. I don't know if she's from Texas. I think this is happening in Texas, right?
She's in Utah, actually.
Where's this Bundy Ranch?
Nevada, I think.
Nevada. Okay, Nevada. We're going to go see if we can, I'm going to go see if I can find an article on this so I can.
Well, did you see the, that Facebook page, that I dropped you? Did you go to that?
No, not yet.
American Armed Posse to Save Freedom in the Bundy Ranch. Militia Operation Bundy Freedom. This is a website on Facebook. They've started a page, and it's got two guys, picture of a sniper, two guys that are snipers, civilians. So it's, these are the people that are coming out in force to help back up all those other civilians.
Keep reading, man. Keep reading. If there's a bunch on there to.
Yeah, hold on. Operation Bundy Freedom. Now, this isn't me speaking. Special alert bulletin. Now hear this. U.S. government N4 PSYOPs units working at full force and engaged today. All militia units beware. Attempts to compel stand down and contain and control methods are now engaged. Mainstream media networks engaging distraction ops are now being commenced and executed per COG planning docs. As you are aware, N4's biggest concern is public awareness, food for thought, contemplation and deliberation on my part and yours, requiring wisdom and discernment. The last thing Free 4 needs is isolation from our 110 million man armed forces. That would be the perfect setup for N4 for their primary COG, isolate and contain all Free 4 at home. Free 4 must be these guys. Please note, N4 has major, preeminent, and vocal agents in most, if not all, social militia sites. These agents are executing planned PSYOPs at this time. Do not let them beguile your units. Operation Bundy Freedom may be the last chance we have to compel our elected Republican and Democrat enemies of our Bill of Rights to acknowledge and obey our 9th and 10th Amendment, state sovereignty, state nullification laws before the U.S. dollar collapses, as it will be rejected as the world reserve currency following the commencement and execution of House Resolution 2847 on the international markets, which initiates on July 1st. I'm going to have to look up that House number.
Yep.
Hint, the most vocal voices in militia social sites who use the words false flag are most often federal agents or very ignorant. These words are primary PSYOP words to compel all American military militia units to stand down. Find out who uses these words the most on these social sites, and you have a high level of confidence that these are the federal plants. If these are the same ones telling you that the locals in Nevada are not engaging and are not asking for support, you can tag them as the enemy.
Liars.
Be further advised, PSYOP docs call for use of words who draw first blood and similar statements along the same thing similar to. See, this is a force flag operation by the feds to engage militia units so that martial law can be declared. You need to stand down now. This special bulletin or alert will be reposted from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah. Captain Carl.
Here's from bundyranch.blogspot.com. And I think somebody else actually, DH, I think dropped it in the room here just a minute ago. Heck, he's calling in here, so we'll get him added in. Or I think it's probably Tech, or it might be Maria. I don't know. Is it Maria or Tech?
Tech.
Okay. Hang on just a minute. Let me read this Blogspot post that they just put up here today. This is from blogspot.com, Bundy Ranch. April 9th, 2014. Just to clarify, people have been asking why we are going off-road and causing trouble. As of now, we have not been going off any marked roads, even though We have the rights because they are state roads. We know a few people have been concerned about the video posted yesterday where we protected our family and friends from being harassed and taken to jail. The road they were on was unmarked. The boys were only taking pictures of the helicopters running Bundy cattle to death. When we saw the BLM start to surround them, we knew they needed our help, so we didn't have to repeat of what happened to Dave Bundy. We didn't go there to start a fight. We went there to stand for our rights. The video what was happening and protect those boys and gentlemen. So evidently BLM is in there with helicopters running these cattle until they drop. You know, scaring them with helicopters and making them herd up and run until they run to death. This is unbelievable. This is open land. This is public use land, I think. This guy's been working his cattle on this land for decades, I believe. And all of a sudden, because BLM decided that they don't want it to occur anymore, they've been harassing this guy for, 5 years, Lance?
Yep.
Over 5 years, I think. And now it's come to blows. Most of you in the chat room, I dropped that video right off the top of the show, and I think most of you went and watched it, or you have seen it already. It's unbelievable, man. I mean, these cops are just a bunch of thugs. These people are trying to get them away from the ranch. I mean, they're actually on this guy's property now, I think, running these cattle to death. I don't know. I honest to God, I haven't been keeping up with this a whole lot. I'm just kind of getting into it now. I know for a couple of days I've been seeing things posted about it. Been seeing videos on YouTube about it. Hecty, what's your take on this?
Okay, I know the local end with the newspapers.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
Basically, with the newspapers here, you're right. They're playing it full distraction and all that. They're playing it up as he owed taxes to the government and all that. That is bullcrap. I have checked into that. And there's a few laws on the books also that protect them on their own land too.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, man. I don't know. Something might be going on with your mic.
Okay.
There you go. That's better.
Basically, there's a few laws that actually protect their land. And it's like, the county is, I don't know what's up with that portion, but I know Reed's been trying to pull up a little deal on the side to where he will get these fracking companies in there and start fracking that shit out of that.
Oh, is that what they want this 6,000 acres for, or 600,000 acres or whatever? They're going to start fracking on it? So
yeah,
they want the cattle off of it?
Oh, possible, yeah. They've been doing it to some other ranchers I've seen up in Reno around all the fucking state is.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I've seen houses getting taken here in Vegas and all. Like, they do the similar thing, they say the similar thing, but they just take the home and they don't say anything. They paid off everything. They say, back tax and all that. It's bullcrap. I've seen myself as well. And one rancher that's up around, around the town my mom used to live in. But as well, I've seen that up there. Panaca, I've seen that's.
Wow, man, your microphone is really bugging out tonight.
I didn't know if it was just me or not.
No, it sounds like you're turning from a human into something else and still talking as you're doing it, or sucking on a helium balloon or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's your connection or what it is, man, but it's kind of hard to hear you a little bit. Hey, Wendy's calling in too. Everybody, hey man, I want everybody, everybody that wants to call in and has something to say about this whole Bundy thing, because we're going to focus most of the show on it. I do want to touch on the whole Pennsylvania school stabbing that happened early this morning, because that's kind of freaky. But the majority of this show, or at least for the next hour or so, I want to touch on this Bundy thing. I want everybody to call in and give your opinion on what's going on this ranch. Why are these rangers, their BLM, Bureau of Land Management, they are executing this man's cattle? for no reason. For whatever I could see is there's no reason to do it. I mean, they could actually herd them up and put them on trailers and confiscate them if they wanted to until everything's settled, and then give the guy his cattle back, or give him a chance to go get the sons of bitches and round them up and put them in his whatever. They don't have to run these cattle to death. You know, are they getting off torturing innocent animals, helpless animals? I don't get this. I really don't get this.
This land of Bureau management, they are evil fuckers. It's like they say they want to run these cattle off the land just so they can protect the desert tortoise, but here's the hypocritical thing I'm going to say is now that I've seen here. They've been euthanizing tortoise here as well, which has been pissing me off in Americans and usually taking care of them. It's like,
yeah, I can't even hear you anymore, Hecty. I don't know what's going on. For about the first 30 seconds, you're great. And then after that, you just fade off to nothing. Wendy's on there with us. Wendy, what do you got to say about all this?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
This is very highly disturbing to me because, this is,
it's almost like the thing that was going on with, Baker up there.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry,
no, that's cool. I mean, we're right on the same page. This is exactly what happened in Baker's Green Acres. But this Mark Baker fought against, and this was the DNR, the state,
Department of Natural Resources.
So, and it was through the state. So he was fighting the state. This is different. This guy is fighting the feds.
Well, yeah, but I think the state, whatever was going on with Mr. Baker up there, it was because of some federal regulation that got dropped and the state picked it up.
Right, exactly.
Any pig that's not pure white with a pink nose is considered a feral hog in that case. And that's a bunch of bullshit.
It's total BS. Just as this is total BS with this, Bundy.
It is.
Rancher.
Why didn't they give the guy a chance to go round his cattle up?
Thing is that, here's the thing though. His family has had those cows out there since before Nevada was a state.
I know. They've had, it's like a grandfather clause. They've had access to that land before the BLM even took it over.
Exactly. So, in other words, they're violating Nevada state law. And that is the issue here. You know what I mean? It's
you know a little bit more about it than I do, so keep going.
Well, I mean, what the thing is this is the real reason. I mean, okay, the drought and everything else. This is the real reason why beef prices are rising is because they're going in every state and they're messing, just like they did with the raw milk dairy farmers, they're messing with beef cattle ranchers now in every freaking state.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And this is the reason why beef prices are rising, people. Sure, the drought has a lot to do with it. You know, California's a huge state, huge, beef ranches in California, but really, they're collectivizing the way Stalin did.
Agenda 21.
Bingo. And they're doing it Stalinistic style, because this is exactly what Stalin did to like the Ukraine back in the day. You know what I mean? So, sorry for the goat noise.
That's okay. Vince is on with us actually too. And Hecty, did you get your mic fixed over there?
I'm trying to get the bloody thing fixed.
Okay. Go ahead, chime in.
Okay.
Hey, brother.
Go Vince.
Go ahead, Vince.
Okay. Hey, I'm not here in Vegas right now. Gillespie, he's a sheriff here. He's a puke. None of the cops like him anyways. I talked a little bit on Josh's show last hour. But anyways, the hour before. Anyways, he won't enforce the Nevada law. Like Wendy says, it's just a matter of, state law. Now the feds come in with BLM, and they've been hard-nosing people around for a while. Down in Arizona, I spoke with Jennifer Jones, and she's has a paper down there. Interviewed her. She also is battling with BLM land there. So it's just they came in. They said, "See, this has been ongoing for a while. It's been in a court case, and he's refused to comply." So I mean. It's not like they just went in there. They're
stepping over their jurisdictional authority.
Absolutely, 100%.
He's not refusing to comply with shit. He's standing up for his rights.
Exactly. I mean, with the court order. I mean, just because the judge says something, it doesn't make it right.
Judge. Who's paying that judge? Who's paying that?
That's right.
Whose pocket are you in, Judge?
Yeah.
Right?
He's in the fucking
Exactly.
sheriff's pocket.
It's not far. It's about 80 miles up there from here, or less, actually, maybe about 65, 70 miles.
What have you seen on the local blurbs about it, on the local news and stuff?
I haven't. Matter of fact, I'm just starting to get really active in this. I've been talking to this about my cousin. He's a cop. Well, actually, his two sons now. His one son lives here, and I've asked him to get in touch with his brother and see if he can't get me some contact information with Larry Burns. He's running for sheriff here in Vegas. Of course, like I said in chat last hour, and of course it'll be too late by then, but Larry Burns has pledged his support for the rancher and to protect him with deadly force if need be. So I think what we really need to see is people like him and others in law enforcement and the military to go out there in support of this rancher and quell the situation and get with these other guys that, these other law enforcement agencies there, these thugs, jackbooted thugs, that is, and say, look, man, this is your kids,
they run them off today, man. The video that I dropped, they run them off today. But I got to tell you, if you people are planning on going out and standing up for these Bundy folks, for this family, good to you, good on you. I wish I had the means available at my disposal to run out there and do the same thing, because I would love to go confront a couple of these jackasses.
Yeah.
But be prepared to be tased. Because that's very evident that these people are going to, and I'm guessing, tomorrow at sunup when they come out to try this bullshit again, they're probably going to have more than tasers this time, because nobody was standing around with M4s or nothing like that this time. They had their sidearms, but everybody had their taser pointed, and they all did the little gangster point with the gun, with the taser sideways, like they were, rolling with the homies down in South Central LA. Bunch of jackasses.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead, Hecty. Tech.
Okay.
I keep calling you Tech. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, with all of these guys down there, with the ranchers and all, they're trying to drive them off and all, to where Reed has a contract with this fracking company up around there, to where he gets rid of T-Boone Pickens and all.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And the local sheriff here is getting a good kickback from this as well. I am looking up the financial details on this portion of it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It all comes down to money, man. It's not about this guy's rights or his cattle or nothing like that. They don't give a shit about all that. They want him off the property so that they can do what they want willy-nilly.
Yes, that's true.
And make the taxpayers probably wind up paying for it. They're probably going to have to blast new roads and, cut new roads and shit in there to get all this fracking equipment. And I guarantee you the taxes are going to go up, so people got to pay for it all.
Yes, I've seen a few Land Bureau contracts with that, and also with these guys that are supposedly running off these cattle and all that. They're like ranchers supposedly in the area that are government subsidized type farmers and all that. From what some of them are being used from what I've seen.
Okay. This is, I'm going to go ahead and read this out really quick. This is from Canada Free Press. This was the best and most recent article that I could find on this that was actually from some,
I have a local news, broadcast too.
Yeah, there's like a 15-minute video that goes with this too. I don't know if we're going to play it or not, but, that's quite lengthy. But anyway, I'll read what they have to say here for just a minute. In the state of Nevada, Clive Bundy and his family are currently caught in a fight over land with federal government. This is over a long-standing refusal to acknowledge a 1993 modification to grazing rights on the land. Bundy claims the land has been in his family since the 1800s. On Saturday, hundreds of federal officials, helicopters, low-flying aircraft, and hired cowboys began rounding up Bundy's cattle in northeastern Clark County. Bundy stated to the media, "I have raised cattle on that land, which is public land, for the people of Clark County all of my life. Why I raise cattle there and why I can raise cattle there is because I have preemptive rights. Who is the trespasser here? Who is the trespasser on this land? Is the United States trespassing on Clark County, Nevada? Or is Clive and Bundy who is trespassing on Clark County, Nevada? Who is the trespasser?" That's what he wants to know. More than 100 supporters violated a crudely taped-off First Amendment area to rally in support of the Bundy family. They erected 2 flagpoles with the words "We the People" above the flag, which read "Liberty, Freedom, for God we stand." The First Amendment area stood empty, with one sign nearby declaring First Amendment is not an area. I love these people,
That's
man.
awesome.
Okay. The feds say the move is about enforcing the law and protecting the endangered desert tortoise. But Bundy family says the spat represents a showdown between big government and American farmer. The feds claim that the removal of the cattle from the land will cost taxpayers roughly $3 million. Pete Santilli, a former U.S. Marine and radio host who hopes to for revolutionary change to come to America, is coming to us live from the Bundy Ranch in Nevada. Okay, so Pete Santilli's out there. Santilli the Shilly. I didn't know he was a former Marine, but anyway. Okay. I don't listen to Pete personally. I don't really know anybody that does, actually, that listens to this network anyway. But anyhow, so there's somebody there, and there's 100 people protesting today, giving him the big FU, middle finger, RMS.
RMS, baby.
Yep. Wendy, what else you got on this? Well, I mean, come on, let's hear it.
Well, I kind of want to know what that thing that Lance read about the militia Facebook there. Like, I was trying to decipher that when he was reading that. So have we determined from that, like, what the hell is going on there? What are they doing?
Yeah, no, I'll tell you. I mean, cause I was reading more into it.
Okay.
These freedom fighters they've basically put out the word to all the rest of these freedom fighter militias to go to the Bundy Ranch. They've got all the coordinates there. Everything is there. I mean, he said, here's the coordinates. Here's my phone number. Come here immediately. You know, these are the directions. Assemble everybody. That's what, that's what these militia people are, hit this Facebook page, American Armed Posse to Save Freedom. I do have a video of the local news there. If you want me to play it and see what the local news there is saying about it.
Can you play it, or are you going to drop it to me?
Well, I can't drop it. Let me see if I can play it, because we tried that one time and I think it worked. Could you hear that?
No.
No?
No.
What channel is it, Lance?
I got an article here. I mean, if you can copy and paste that thing into the box, man.
It's one of those embedded ones. I can.
There's no YouTube down at the bottom where you can click it.
No.
Shit.
No.
Just send me the article. Or the Facebook link or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
All right. Here's something here's something that Jules dropped me. She said that this needs to get read. She said it's not his property, which we just found out. It's owned by the county of Nevada, Clark County or whatever. BLM, it's under BLM control, but I don't think the state or the feds own the land.
It's state land, right?
Yeah, it's state land. It's county land, whatever.
Yeah.
Last man standing. Rancher armed, feds surrounded farm. 2 decades old battle between a Nevada rancher and the Bureau of Land Management has resulted in officers armed with machine guns surrounding the ranch and forcibly removing the owner's cattle. And then she's got this from Free Beacon. The BLM designated 186,909 acres of the Gold Butte off limits for critical desert tortoise. In 1998 they did that. Bundy had already lost his grazing permits 5 years earlier for refusing to pay fees for the land, which his family has ranched since the 1870s. So they all of a sudden decided to charge him, and he refused. So they took away his rights to the land. The federal grazing fee of $1.35 an acre, animal unit month, or the amount of forage needed per animal each month. Bundy said he owes roughly $300,000 in back fees, while the BLM asserts that he owes over $1 million. The BLM defended the removal because Bundy did not voluntarily give up his cattle. The The Bureau of Land Management currently funds the Conservation and Research Center with fees inflicted on those who disturb tortoise habitats. During the housing boom in the early 2000s, the Conservation Center had plenty of cash, since developers were frequently fined for disturbing such habitats. But since the recession, the BLM has struggled to meet its annual $1 million budget. So they're trying to gouge this guy to pay for all their shit out there.
Oh my god, dude.
Yep.
That pisses me off. Sorry.
You wanna know it's gonna double piss you off about this? The same Land Bureau management doesn't quite own up to his property. They have up to 1,000 miles before. It may be a land of Nevada and all.
Now,
but
okay, hang on a second. Oh, well, keep going, Hector. Go ahead.
the Bureau of Land Management does not control that area. That may be state run. So government should not have any worms or anything to do with that fucking area. And
no jurisdiction.
Right.
Yes. Okay. And here's the hypocritical thing when they're going after the cow and all that and all the livestock. Okay. With the turtles and all that, they have been euthanizing these turtles
I'm getting ready to read an article about that right now.
Yeah.
Now this is from
they've got in trouble about that too.
August of last year. This article that I'm about ready to read to you is from August of last year. Federal funds for Nevada-based Desert Tortoise Conservation Center are running dry, and wildlife officials plan to close the facility and euthanize hundreds of tortoises that were once classified as endangered and are currently considered threatened. The desert tortoise can be found in the southwestern United States, but its population has been dwindling. In some areas, the tortoise population has decreased by 90% since the 1980s. Mojave Desert population is considered threatened and is illegal to touch, harm, or harass these animals. And a Desert Tortoise Conservation Center has tried to increase their population ever since they were added to the endangered species list in '90. Still, only 100,000 desert tortoises are estimated to remain in the wild. But federal funds are running dry in the Las Vegas Valley facility, and rather than release the animals, officials plan to euthanize about half of the 1,400 tortoises.
What?
The 220-acre facility will shut its doors in 2014, and the tortoises deemed feeble to survive in the wild will be set free. Deemed feeble to survive in a feeble. I thought feeble meant you were kind of weak, but anyway.
Yeah.
Many of the tortoises at the center were formerly kept as pets and are unable to survive in the desert. It's the lesser of two evils, but it's still evil. Blah, blah, blah. The facility usually takes in diseased or injured tortoises and nurtures them back to health, but new arrivals will most likely be put to sleep. BLM currently funds the Conservation and Research Center with fees inflicted on those who disturb the tortoise habitats. During the housing boom in the early 2000s, okay, we just read all that. Over the past 11 months, the BLM has only accumulated $290,000 in federal mitigation fees that developers were forced to pay. With the money going down and more tortoises coming in, it would never have added up. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah.
insane.
That's from 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Or 8
that-
months ago.
This is the BLM then.
So they're getting ready to close the freaking facility anyway. Why are you gouging
Yeah.
this farmer and
What?
murdering his cattle?
Yeah. And you want to know how they got gouged too as well? Reed was getting in trouble for the Obamacare server in here in Nevada too, to where he gouged the state reserves and all that by probably about 20 to 50% over the last 5 years, continuously.
Of course. Damn, Hecty.
It's unbelievable.
It's hardcore.
Hey, come on, people. I want to hear what everybody else out there thinks about this bullshit. 718-717-8296, or if you guys got UCY.TV on your friends list, hit me up and let me know. I'll add you into the call. I really want to find out what people have to say about this, because this is a bunch of horse shit. It's the federal government not wanting to spend any more of their goddamn money on tortoises. So they're going to gouge the citizens of this country to pay for it for them, so they can keep building bombs and shit with their money, right?
It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. You know what?
Oh.
Okay, you want to know what they're playing up in the local paper here? And I will say it. They're playing it up as he owes back taxes by at least
that's what he said. 300,000 is what he said he owes them, and they said he owes.
Yeah, they're saying 100,000 with it. It's like, these horse shits with the Review Journal. I hate, and I know the Sun is just about as crooked.
Yeah,
I want to know. I want to know how many cattle step on a tortoise. I want to know how those cattle are endangering any of those tortoises, because I guarantee they'll walk around them. I guarantee they see them. They're not going to step on them and smash them.
Well, they're going to
euthanize the sons of, come on, people. This is blatant in your face tyranny. Your face.
It is. This is the same thing I've seen. They've tried to do similar crap to my sister up in Reno as well. And I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay. But with all this BLM crap and all, they are just going to keep going after people down here. They're going after a lot of the ranchers and farmers and that down here as well, that are at least east of Vegas, as a good example.
I just don't have anything good to say about the federal government. I talked to some people when I was down in Arizona for a little while. I talked to some tribes that were down there, and they said that the Southwest used to be gorgeous, man. There was trees all over the place, and it was just, there was grass growing even in certain spots and whatever. And then the BLM came in there and cut down all the trees, and all that'll grow now is these little scrub bushes everywhere. That's all there is scrub bushes and sand for thousands and thousands and thousands of acres.
All right, so who the hell is the BLN?
The Bureau of Land Management.
Land Management.
Federal.
They don't manage shit.
No, they destroy it. They destroy it, and they tell people that you can't walk over here. You can't do nothing over here. You can't go hiking. You can't take pictures of no birds. You can't do nothing on this land because we put a fence around it and we said it's ours.
Oh yeah, birds down here. They've tried something like that before. That was nuts, and locals got pissed off about that, and the BLM got slapped with a freaking lawsuit about $500,000 last time that they got in trouble about similar type crap.
This rancher needs to be filing lawsuits, but do you think this poor guy's got money?
Oh, he'll never go anywhere. It'll never go. The courts are crooked. The courts are corrupt. It won't go anywhere. They'll bankrupt his ass running him through courts if he tries that shit.
Well, look what they did to Edna Lane Brown, dude.
Man. I agree with him. Just give him the big F-U. F-U. My family was on this land before the goddamn government ever existed. F-U.
Yeah, and there's one or two local judges that support this guy, but they're not, I don't think they probably have the balls to take care of things about this case.
No, you're right about that.
It's ridiculous, man. Okay. Lance tagged me in this little video on Facebook. And I know Facebook sucks up resources off your computer, so I hope this doesn't screw my show up. But we'll go ahead and try to play this up here.
Mind if I say something about this?
Sure.
With a lot of this militia group and all that's heading this way and all, a lot of Nevada militia from different areas and all that have been gathering up lately about some of this crap.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff posted on Facebook. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter going out about it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't keeping up with it. I had a bunch of stuff going on in my house today, and I just wasn't able to keep up with it. But I knew it was going to be a big story. I didn't know it was going to be this big.
Well, I hope so. I hope the militias are standing up because the armed citizenry is our last line of defense against this tyranny.
Man, if it goes to firing rounds, and oh my God, man.
We're not going to have and suffer through another freaking Waco or Ruby freaking Ridge here, people.
I understand that, but goddamn if it goes to throwing rounds. You know what I mean, Wendy?
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean as well with like how fucked up that is.
This is only it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, this little clip here from their local 5 o'clock news in Nevada, Clark County.
This is 8 News Now.
Terrible audio.
Thanks for joining us. Tensions are growing as the community of Bunkerville tries to stop federal rangers from taking cattle off public land.
Rangers had tasers ready to go as facing down dozens of protesters. One woman says she was hit by a BLM vehicle. Another man says a taser was used on him twice.
8 News Now has been covering the ongoing controversy in the small town for years now.
Lauren Rosella live outside of Bunkerville with the latest. Lauren.
Dave Paula, in just a matter of minutes, things in this crowd went from calm to very angry as they approached a group of rangers that were just down the road. Those rangers were ready with tasers and poised with dogs ready to react as necessary. Now, at the center of all of this is the Bundy family, who say they have 500 cattle at stake and who they've allowed to graze this land illegally for the past 20 years.
Oh, come on, man.
Federal rangers stood with tasers ready and dogs poised to go on the attack.
What'd they do, Evan? Taser!
These protesters came within inches of law enforcement trying to get the BLM to leave this section of public land. The Bundy family says they're willing to put themselves in danger, not just for cattle, but essentially their livelihood. They claim federal rangers are killing their cattle in the process of rounding them up.
There's only one reason why they would have a backhoe and a dump truck up there, and that is because they're cleaning up their mess from killing the animals.
Where's my baby calf? The rangers here say this is calving season and mother cows are being separated from their babies.
They haven't been able to feed their cows, and that means their calves are starving to death.
The BLM has denied killing any cattle intentionally, only saying that there may be some cases where a cow would need to be euthanized.
Get out of our state! Get out of our state!
The BLM decided to leave this area for now.
Woo!
But not everyone left the skirmish unharmed. One of the Bundy sisters says a ranger hit her with her car and threw her to the ground.
I'm shook up, my hands cracked, my knees, banged up.
The BLM rangers are out of this area for now, but insist they'll be back to take cattle they say is here illegally until each and every one is in their custody. Law enforcement are holding a press conference right now to discuss what happened here today, and we have a crew there, so we will have more on that tonight at 6. We will also have more on some supposed injuries that one man sustained from a taser, so we'll show you that as well. Reporting live outside Overton, Lauren Rosella, 8 News Now.
Okay, that's local 8 News. These bastards from there, they do a lot of doublespeak on a lot of crap. They try to do some good, but they are.
You could hear them apologizing for the fucking government.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they do doublespeak, as I said.
That's right.
They are just about as bad as the Sun. And the Sun, they are, let's just say, Washington Post on crack.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'd heard an interview with the rancher, with Mr. Bundy today, and he said that his son was out on the street taking pictures of everything, and a bunch of vehicles surrounded his car. They dragged him out into and threw him onto the gravel, put their knees on the back of his neck, smashed his head into the gravel, arrested him, and then they transported him to the local jail, and then they transported him somewhere else, and then they took him to Nevada, and then and they were treating him like crap, like the guy wanted to die. I mean, they were treating him like total crap. Mm-hmm. And then they took him and they gave him a sack lunch. Suddenly their attitude changed. They gave him a sack lunch and then they kicked him out in the streets of Nevada. Or Las Vegas, I'm sorry.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And I guess they roughed his daughter around too. I mean, these guys are like they're thugs, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's only one way to deal with thugs, okay?
They're going out because they're told to.
Exactly.
They don't look into the history of the thing. They just get their marching orders and they go and destroy a guy's entire life.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad side of Metro plus North Las Vegas, sounds like.
Yeah, it was Las Vegas they took him to and turned him out, gave him a sack lunch and turned him out in the street. They were like, okay, you can go. And no charges were filed against him, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. No, that's news.
Against the son
I thought they filed charges, but it's like
Against the son?
Yeah, I thought they did.
Yeah, I heard one of them got taken off in handcuffs.
Oh, well, maybe. I mean, maybe, I don't know what they would have charged him with, but, he was just taking pictures from what father was saying.
Trespassing or something like that, from what I've heard.
Trespassing on his father's land? I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Like fly.
Yeah, it's, I just got that, from, the father. I heard an interview with the dad, so that's what he said.
Let's listen to some local politician for just a second here. We're not gonna, this is not a clip, this is an article I'm gonna read, so hopefully my voice sounds better than this jackass. Las Vegas. U.S. Senator Dean Heller is adding his voice to the complaints about the federal roundup of cattle from rural Nevada rancher who claims long-standing grazing rights on remote public land about 80 miles southwest of, 80 miles northeast of Las Vegas. The Republican senator said Wednesday he told new U.S. Bureau of Land Management Chief Neil Korsney, I think that's his name, Korsney, in Washington, D.C., that law-abiding Nevadans should not be penalized by an overreaching BLM. Well, maybe this guy's not a jackass. Well, no, he's a politician, so he's a jackass. He's just digging for votes. Yeah. Bureau and National Park Service officials have commented about criticisms of the roundup of cattle from ranger lands that Ranger Cliven Bundy has used, or from range lands that Rancher Cliven Bundy has used for decades in the Golden Butte area. Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval said that there is an atmosphere of intimidation and says constitutional rights are being trampled. Wow. Why are these people still rounding up this man's cattle? If the governor of the state and some congressmen said don't. Shouldn't you guys have put a kibosh on it for just a minute? Maybe hit pause instead of killing this guy's cattle? The elected officials say they are concerned about closed roads and land declared off limits during this operation. Oh, here we go. Okay. Nevada rancher's son freed as BLM collects cattle. The son of rural Nevada rancher was freed from federal custody Monday, a day after BLM police arrested him during a long-running family dispute with the governor over cattle grazing, with the government over cattle grazing in remote rangelands north of Vegas. So Dave Bundy, 37, was taken into custody over the weekend after the agency closed federally controlled land and started rounding up the cows. BLM said the animals are trespassing, so they arrested him for being out there with the cattle. He was issued a court summons on criminal charges that he refused to disperse and resisted officers. So that's what he got arrested for. But he is now free and has to go back to court for this bullshit.
So he was charged.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, these contractors are out. They got pictures. They got pictures of these contractors out there flying around these cattle with helicopters, scaring the shit out of them. That you heard from the family themselves that it's calving season. So they're separating the mothers from the calves, and the calves are starving to death.
It's heinous.
Yeah, it is absolutely, there's absolutely no excuse for it. Unless you can prove that they're squashing these turtles, you could have just said, hey, all right, we're going to have a big kerfuffle about this, man. If you don't get your cattle off this land, we're going to take you to court. Don't go murder his cattle. Take him to court. Don't go murder his cattle. Go ahead.
That's right. I don't know what else to say. I mean, what are they doing? What in the hell are they doing? They're trying to they're trying to get $1 million out of this guy? I mean.
It's federal overreach. That's all it is. It's federal overreach. It's the federal government flexing their muscles and puffing out their chest and saying, we own this land, or we control this land. You just pay taxes.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
I think, I gotta give serious kudos to the people that were out there today. And, if the video would play well on radio, I would play it. it's about 15 minutes long, but I mean, there's a lot of cursing in it, and all you really hear is tasers going off and dogs barking and people bitching, and it's not really good radio, but it's good to watch because those boys got their asses handed to them today. Even though they were armed and they had dogs and everything else, they knew those people weren't going away. They tasered that guy twice, and all he did was spit a little 360 and break the cables and threw him back at the cop and said, "Tase me again, motherfucker." And they did it. And he spun again and ripped the cables off and threw it back at him. Very, very exciting to watch. It was very exciting to watch.
Dude, can you drop that in the chat room?
I did right off the bat.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll drop it to you later in Skype too.
Thank you.
It was an amazing video to watch.
That's awesome,
and
dude.
yeah, it's nice to see some feds tuck their tails and go away.
Good.
And I got to tell you, if these militia guys show up, they're not going to show up unarmed. I guarantee you, they're all going to be armed because Nevada's an open carry state.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
Right.
And if there's more of them with M4s than there is BLM with M4s and cops with M4s and whatever the fuck else they want to bring, it's going to get pretty ugly.
This could be the shot heard around the world. I mean, I don't know. This could be the
like you said earlier, man, we're not going to have another Waco. We're not going to have another Ruby Ridge.
Absolutely.
We're not going to let this happen.
That's right. Yeah, because we got to step up now. I mean, I think they tried to pull this crap back in the 90s, and the militia wrote this declaration and presented it to the feds, and they backed down. The feds backed down. I think we're back at that freaking spot again here.
Yeah. Looks like militia hunting season for them, the way it sounds like, or the way they want to plan this.
I'm sorry, Chuck. I didn't see you. I'm sorry, man.
Don't
pay attention to the show, Funky. Got a show going on, man. Okay, here comes Chuck O'Celli. He ought to have something good to say about this too.
Yeah.
This is just out of control. This federal government's out of control. Every time I see Barry on the TV spewing all of his bullshit, the only thing I hear going past my ears is lie, 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 lie. He doesn't even breathe hardly. Lie, 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 just lie, just spews it. So I can't listen to him, man. And I can hear him from the other room. Mom will be listening to the TV and his ass will come on and start talking. Today, I signed another executive order, blah, 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 blah. It just goes by me like a jet. I can't take it. I can't take it. Me
neither, man.
What's happening, Chuck?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Chime in.
Hey, Chuck.
I'll tell you what my opinion is on this and what I see based on all the stuff that I have seen and all the stuff I have studied. And that is that this is basically just a pinprick. This is the setup for a whole lot of other stuff that's about to come down.
They want a confrontation between the civilians and the military, or the civilians and the federal government. They have been trying to pick a fight with us for about 5 years now.
That's right.
Right.
And I'm thinking that it's coming.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This is a test. Okay. It's sort of like it's just. You poke the stick at the dog through the fence and see if he's going to bite it or if he's going to look at you strange. Okay, this is what they're doing, and all it is.
Yeah, but you're not paying attention to the bigger dog that's sneaking up behind you, getting ready to take a huge chunk out of your ass.
Yep.
Well, why would you? You're too busy looking at your phone playing Angry Birds.
No. I'm talking about the federal government poking a stick. I'm talking about them poking a stick at the one dog. And not paying attention to the other dogs. There's 300 million dogs in this country. Feds.
Damn right.
Well, this is what they don't quite seem to comprehend or don't believe. Actually, I think they believe
they think that everybody's going to cower down. I guarantee. Well, okay. Keep going.
I absolutely believe that is that they have gotten to a point where they're testing to see exactly how many people are going to stand up. Okay, that's why. I mean, I know that you objected to that whole idea about going peacefully into Washington, but
no way, man, no way.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling you, it's going to come down to something like that. It is absolutely going to come down to something like that.
That's what I've been saying.
Go ahead, Tech.
When it comes with some things like that. With Washington, I do agree with Ocelli to a point. But if they start something like this here and all, like if there's another Ruby Ridge here, there ain't gonna be something like that. And it's just a litmus test between all sides, see who does what and how they react. That's how all this is going the way I see it right now. They're just testing, they're poking and ponging it like how,
well, this is one of many tests, right? This is exactly one of many tests. They are trying to examine exactly what our readiness is. Okay.
Yes. Test your rate.
So tell me, Chuck, what do you think is going to happen when these militia members show up and the day breaks tomorrow and, the cops are outnumbered?
Well, if they're smart, okay, what they'll do is give them a BS reason to disperse, and as they disperse, they'll just start picking them up. That's exactly what they'll try to do. Quietly, separately.
How are they going to pick them up, man? What are they going to pick them up for? Standing on a public road with a legally held weapon?
Look, you and I both know that,
if they push, man, I'm telling you, it's not, there's not going to be a go quietly into that good night syndrome here, Bubba. It's just not going to happen. It's not.
Well,
I agree.
I hate to say this to you, but I hope not. Because the only way that this kind of stuff is going to stop is if people begin to resist and refuse.
That's right.
And it's that simple. And if it doesn't start happening soon, then they're going to just keep herding us like they are those cows.
So if you refuse to comply tomorrow and take a taser and go to jail for it, then what?
It depends.
Are you gonna, then when you get out of jail, are you gonna refuse to comply again? Are you just gonna go through that circle? Or are you gonna refuse to comply to the point where you cold cock the officer that's trying to arrest you because it's illegal for him to do so? Because that's fully on the table. That's game. That's legal.
Yeah, but that's the thing. What are you going to do? What is everybody going to do when we're each individually confronted with this? This is a matter of either begin to unite yourselves together in some way, shape, or form so that we're too big collectively to be taken into custody, or they are going to just take us down individually.
That's right.
I hope you know.
They're working on us right here in Manchester. They're working on us as of last week. They were crawling around the woods and we caught them.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't stopped messing with us. So they're messing with the rancher, they're messing with me and my best friends, and they still haven't stopped. And we went through that whole Hutari thing like 2 years ago.
She said a friend of hers caught feds creeping around on his property.
Yeah.
All camoed out and faces painted and shit.
Mm-hmm. Pretending to be turkey hunters.
Well, look, the details of this I'm not going to air, but I am going to tell you that I'm not eligible to leave the country or to own a firearm. Okay?
Right.
And that's the bottom line.
You suck! Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You're on the list. So am I.
Yeah. If you're not on a list, be ashamed of yourself. Go wash your mouth out with soap.
I was first placed based on a FOIA lawsuit that accidentally revealed my name. I was first placed on an FBI terrorist watch list at the age of 12. So.
Wow.
That sounds like Jules watching the little red dot on her wall when she was a kid. Hey, what's that? What's that? Right. That's an audio microphone, Jules.
Let's just say for me,
let's
just say because of my family, knowing the way they are and knowing what offices and all that type of crap they've dealt with and been with. So I kind of know a little too much for my own good on some things, and plus my previous work as well.
Yes. Everyone that listens to this network knows more than they should know.
That's right.
Because we don't bullshit people. We provide as close to the accurate truth as humanly possible. At least I do. I throw my personal opinion out there every once in a while. Don't get me wrong, folks. I mean, this is my show, so I give you my personal opinion. But I try to throw you facts.
That's absolutely you're right, and it's your analysis that is so important. And despite popular opinion, I don't 100% agree with everything you say. But
well, it's analysis. It's analysis that comes from personal experience. I mean, that's really
exactly
where we all draw everything from, anyway.
It's perspective too. I mean, I've got a totally different perspective with my life experience than most people.
Sure.
So,
as do I.
Yeah.
And as does Chuck, and as does Hecty. Absolutely. We all come at it from different.
Yep. Go ahead, Wendy. You were going to say what I was saying.
Yeah, we all come at it from a different perspective anyway. We've all had different paths, and now we're all intersecting in this path, and really joining together and making a difference because we're speaking out against the bullshit.
I don't think, I'll bet you $1,000 that a year ago, Lance Musser had no clue he'd be doing what he's doing today.
What of it, Lance?
True that.
Yeah.
I'll bet you $1 million that Kim wouldn't have bet that she would have ever gone on the air anywhere to talk about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I want everybody out there to experience the kind of change that I've experienced in my life over the last year and a half. You know, I want everybody to experience what Lance is experiencing now, because I guarantee you it's changed him. I know it's changed me. I guarantee it's probably changed Wendy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, guys? Let's thank Jules, because without her, none of this shit's possible.
None of it would be possible without her.
Exactly.
You know, she burns her candle at both ends to provide us with this network so that we can get out here and spew our shit.
That's right, man.
Which is why I'm making sure to give her the day off tomorrow morning. So
it's devastating.
Bless your heart, dude.
You know, it's devastating her family life. It seriously is, and I don't think you people get it. I don't think most of you people get it. Just how bad it's affecting her family life. Because she doesn't have one.
No, not at all.
She sleeps on her couch and she works on this network. She doesn't have any time to spend with her kids. She doesn't have any time to spend with her husband. She doesn't have any time to spend cleaning the house, doing mother stuff, you know, family stuff. Because she's constantly messing with this network. And it's time we give her some well-deserved time off.
Amen, Jimmy.
So.
And you might not be too thrilled with this, but I'm going to say this too. You know that click banner that's up there on the UCY site? At least hit that damn thing.
Well, yeah, we're gonna kind of tone that down a little bit because she received some emails from some folks, and not folks, y'all listeners, but you know, some of the hosting agency folks, and you know, if people start getting all click happy and shit, then she's liable to have everything brought to a screeching halt. So,
right.
I didn't mean click happy. I'm saying just click it.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's all I meant. And you know what? If you don't want to play with that, you don't want to look at that, you don't want to go to those sites, fine, don't. Throw something in the damn tip jar. You tip a pizza guy and think about the type of information and what you're getting out of this network. So you would tip a pizza man for bringing you your damn pizza.
Right.
All right?
We're bringing you a lot more than pizza.
You're damn right. Whole lot more food for your mind than you're ever going to get out of that pizza box. So throw her something.
Yep.
Okay?
Amen. Yeah, here, dude.
And I have a donate button for myself. I haven't even posted it anywhere because I want to direct it toward her first.
And when she gets ready to run for the Senate, because she wants to be able to insider trade and all that stuff, you hear her say that all the time. Please vote for her when she gets ready to run for the Senate.
Insider trading!
Yeah. For everybody! Insider trading for everybody!
That's right.
Vincent joined us again.
That's the real truth about how the Kennedys made money.
Hey, man.
That's right, Chuck.
Yeah. Really, I had to call back in and say a big thanks to Jules. She is awesome. She put so much of her life into this, and for all of us to have a voice, even for a-holes that want to come in and run their mouth and chat and just try to degrade everybody, and thinking that nobody's doing nothing. Hey, you know what? We're standing up. We're going to be one of the first ones they come for when they round people up. So while you can sit there all anonymous talking crap, you know, go ahead. You've got a voice right here on UCY. So, and Dodie says that we should be contributing as broadcasters, and I think that's right. And Dodie does a lot for the network. She hooked me up too with the extras on Chitango. So thanks, Dodie. You're awesome.
I thought Dodie was going to start doing the mornings again, but.
Yeah, she's coming back Friday.
Oh, yeah?
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
That's cool. I'll be here.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just wanted to call back in and give a big shout out. And Jimmy, you rock. Hey, you and Chuck and JJ, some of the best guys here helping out on UCY as producers, man. You guys really rock, man. I really appreciate your guys' work. And I would like to add a shout out to the other broadcasters. Perhaps you might message Jules and say, look, let me help out. Let me take today's posting for the network and give her the day off. Let her be able to, not be tied to the machine. Okay. So anyways, hey, you guys are great, man. And I'm really, really proud to be a part of this.
I appreciate it, Vince.
Here, Vince.
We're making a difference.
Thank you, Vince.
And Wendy, you're awesome too.
Yeah. Thanks, Vince.
You're great. Yeah, and I really love listening to you in the mornings when I wake up. It's a lot earlier on the West Coast. So anyways, I'm jumping back out. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate everything you're doing.
Thanks for calling back in, man.
Thanks, bud.
Let's not forget Hector and Lance. They're awesome, too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And Lance, I don't think I could even do my show without him anymore.
I love you, Lance, man. You really rock, dude.
Even though when I start getting into these round tables, he just kind of kicks back and mutes up and puffs on his pipe and nods every once in a while. I'm pretty sure he nods every once in a while when we're talking. Yep.
Exactly what I'm doing now.
Smoking that 4-foot, man.
That's right.
Savinelli. He was out all day today, early, walking, swinging a club.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be rough. Probably tired. Okay. I don't want to beat the whole Bundy thing up. I want to wait until we get some more information. So I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it a little more on Friday. Cause, when the sun comes up tomorrow, these jackasses are going to be back at it. They are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, if these militia folks show up, it's going to be, all kinds of different, right?
It'd be interesting to see what happens. I mean, because, the feds could actually take this opportunity to do a provocateuring, some kind of crap, pull some kind of crap and blame it on the militia groups. They're itching to do that.
Yeah.
They're just itching because we went to a militia meeting and they were provocateuring that meeting. And, it was, about the American Spring. We've talked about it. And, if they could pull something like that here in this situation too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's two possibilities I've seen with this. If they don't mess around with anything else right now. Either the local sheriff or the local sheriff people will come in and help out and diss the sheriff, or they're not gonna go in there because some of the local militias sitting around and they are gonna fuck with them, and all these side ranchers aren't gonna go in unless the police are there.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, this is like almost 200,000 acres. Is he the only guy that's got cattle out there? Are they pissing on anybody else's day out there? Or is it just this Clive? Is it just Clive?
Somebody, called into the show from like the next county over and they were saying the BLM was messing with them and their family too. And they had a ranch. So he's not the only one.
Yeah. He's the only one that they're running their cattle to death, though, right? I mean, he's the only one that they're out there murdering their cattle.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're trying to freaking, along with fracking crap, I think they're trying to put up wind farms and all this other bull crap, and they're just running in there and just running people off land, is what they're doing. It's a massive freaking UN land grab.
It's Agenda 21. That's exactly what it is. They don't want anybody to have any control over any state property. All the state property, I guarantee you they're going to start closing up these state parks saying, no, you guys are tearing it up, leaving trash all over. Just, if you want to look at it, go rent a plane and fly over.
When you read that turtle article, that was the real deal. That was the crystal clear reasoning behind their illogical thoughts. I mean, you can't even, you know what I mean? It's hard to even process that crap, but seriously, their logic is full of holes. Oh my God. And they just pull this $1 million figure out of out of their butts.
They want the funding for the they don't want to have to fork out any more dough off of their hot printing presses.
Exactly.
To fund this thing. It's not a government anymore. Let's make the people pay for it.
No.
And since these people aren't going to like their taxes going up, we'll just hit this one guy over here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's extortion. It's blackmail. It's just out and out criminality.
Yeah. All right. We got about 25 minutes left in the show before we got to start closing things down. So, I want to touch on two other things. I want to touch on two other stories. I want to touch on this Pennsylvania stabbing earlier. I don't know if there's a whole lot to this or not, but I haven't really read, like I told everybody earlier, I've been outside working on my house all day. But here's the article I've got about it. And if anybody else wants to chime in after that, that's cool. We'll spend 10 on this and 10 on the other one. Up to 22 people were stabbed at a high school near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with some victims having suffered serious injuries. The suspect, a male student, was detained by staff at the school. Way to go, staff members. At least he didn't get shot to death by a cop. Now we can find out why he's screwed up in the head, right? 4 students out of 19 injured on Wednesday morning at Franklin Regional High School in Murraysville were in serious condition. Dan Stevens of Westmoreland Emergency Management told CBS Pittsburgh. By early afternoon, police told the Associated Press that 16-year-old, later identified as Alex Hribal, 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 I think that's how I'm pronouncing it, armed with 2 knives, was thought to be responsible for the rampage and had been brought into custody after being subdued by campus cop. Oh, okay, campus cop. And the school's assistant principal. Hribal, who is being held without bail, will be charged as an adult and faces 4 counts of attempted criminal homicide and 21 counts of aggravated assault. According to witnesses, he said he wanted to die at the time of his arrest. Not all the 20 people, 19 of whom were students injured, were cut by the students' knives, though most were. Stevens told CBS affiliates some suffered scrapes and cuts in the mayhem that ensued. Although some of the wounds are critical, all of them are expected to recover. It has also been reported that Hribal, thought to be in his sophomore year at the high school, was taken to a local hospital for treatment after receiving a minor injury. A school resource officer called in the incident shortly after 7 a.m., according to WTAE. Students were panicking. Many used their cell phones to call parents and tell them what was going on, but some managed to overcome the fear and even helped with their friends to survive. So way to go to the students. One female student saved another student's life at the scene by applying pressure. 8 of the attack victims have been taken to Forbes Medical with all chest or torso wounds. 3 were air-vac'd and dozens of ambulances were dispatched. I know you people saw the videos and stuff from the scene, right? Parents notified about the incident were seen rushing to the area. Yep. So there's a video to go here with it, but he's probably seen everything I just said. So chime in, folks.
Well, a couple of things. The staff that they're talking about there's 3 private security agents that are on the campus and 1 full-time police officer, which is there for security purposes. Right. 2 of them were involved in subduing the suspect. I know that for sure. Outside of that, I checked out the press conference at the hospital and listened to that whole description. It sounds to me like it's a left-handed assailant. He had certain targeted people, and a bunch of people were actually injured fleeing. There was a couple of students, and in fact,
I'm guessing the 4 in serious condition are the ones that he was going after. They probably got some gut wounds and some lung injuries and whatever else.
One of them apparently required a liver trauma specialist in surgery at the time.
Woof, that's bad news.
That's a seriously deep stab wound.
Liver, anything to do with the liver, Jack. I mean, you can bleed out in several minutes. It doesn't take long. If you got a big old laceration in your liver and you're not anywhere near a hospital, I hope you got your insurance paid.
The student you're talking about that assisted the other student, because I was going to do this all tomorrow morning. The student you're talking about that assisted the other student is a female who apparently was trying to help 2 students that were seriously injured. They were both males. One of them apparently stepped in and tried to protect another female student, by the way. So I'm not giving out the names on those kids because they're kids. Okay? But this is something I checked into pretty well. And I got to tell you that the one kid apparently was losing consciousness when they were taking him out of there, and was pretty damn critical. He was gripping onto the girl.
So who's this free ball dude? I mean, have you got any background on him? What was his beef with these kids?
The sad part is that according to a couple of the students, as far as I could gather, he didn't have one.
He didn't have a problem with anybody. He just decided to, hey man, I'm taking SSRI, so I'll go screw some kids'
there you
lives
go,
up.
Jimmy. SSRI. That's what I was going to say.
Probably. I mean, he didn't seem to have any sort of issue that anybody could identify from the day before, the week before, nothing. It just seemed to be a spur of the moment thing right at the beginning of the bell at homeroom.
Has anybody Googled this cat's name?
I haven't done it lately.
Well, I mean, I know he's only 16, but I guarantee you'll come up with some kind of YouTube, if he's got a YouTube or Facebook page, and start doing some digging on this asshole. Because I want to know. I mean, if he's taking these medications, I want to know. Right off the bat, I want to know. I want to know who his parents are, who they're affiliated with. I want to know if they got anything to do with the federal government. I want to know. I want this cat's life like an open book now. You're going to walk into a school and try to stab 4 kids to death, and wind up injuring over 22 in the melee. I want to know everything about you.
He went to Franklin. That's Franklin High School, but he
Murraysville, Pennsylvania.
Murraysville, Pennsylvania, right? And he's got an older brother in the school. I found out, but
Alex Hribal, AlexHribal, Alex Hribal. If anybody wants to do some investigative journalism,
yeah, and by all means, if you want to join me in the morning and talk about it, do that too.
I might do that.
Oh, well, that would be great.
Cool. What are they going to do? Ban knives now?
Well, I'll tell you the one little piece of comic relief for me was flipping on headline news in the morning, because Jules was still on when this stuff was unfolding on the mainstream. And the one blonde, I can't remember her name, but she kept calling it a school shooting over and over again. And I sat there, I said, wait a minute.
Oh wow, this kid, oh boy. Okay, I'm going to drop this.
Charles, dude, that wasn't by accident. I'm sorry, that wasn't by accident.
I'm going to
I know.
Really
that
quick.
wasn't a bubble-headed bleach blonde thing either.
No, I know that, but I was just throwing it out there.
Okay, this is from Heavy. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tech.
Yeah, I noticed they played it up here as well a little bit. Played it up as a school shooting or as a terror attack again, even here. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, what happened with the kid? They're probably going to come through his net history and then also through his school life a little bit more next few days. So I keep an eye on that. That's all.
I was at work today because I have to work now on Wednesdays, but I was just caught CNN and it said mass stabbing. Mass school stabbing. That's what it said. The headline.
Okay, here I got some stuff I want to drop really quick. This is from Heavy.com. Police have identified, we're going to go through that. The assistant principal's name was Sam King. Congratulations, Sam. You are a hero. And one other, the cop known as Sarge. So, here we go. He was wielding 2 8 to 10 inch knives. The attack occurred in a crowded hallway before school started. CBS reported that Hribal tackled a freshman student and stabbed him in the stomach before running down the hallway, slashing other students while wielding 2 8 to 10 inch knives. 2 of the students were taken to Forbes Hospital in Monroeville, were listed as being in critical but stable. Dr. Mark Rubino explained the nature of the injuries. Most of them were the right lower abdomen, right flank, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see. 17-year-old is being treated with life-threatening wounds after suffering injuries to his liver and diaphragm. He's on life support and intensive care. The knife wound he suffered came within inches of his heart. Okay, here's fact number 2. First responders at the scene identified Hribal. So I guess they were the ones that saw him with the knives or whatever. 3, police have not identified Freeball's motive, so they don't know why the hell he did it. His Facebook page references Hitler. His Facebook page is adorned with pictures of Kurt Cobain, who committed suicide nearly 20 years ago. Social media
20th anniversary, yeah.
Yeah, we just passed it, yeah. Includes references to Hitler. Let's see, ask something, add an opinion. I'm a fan of starting polls. I don't know why. Anyway, what game do you want to see from screens from tonight? It's time for children to decide if I grow a beard, what beard should I grow? Those are all kind of shit that he's put on his Facebook page. Said he was interested in hockey video games.
Generally normal nonsense.
Yeah, a classmate said he came from a really good family. Some of the suspect classmates have said that the neighbor of Sam King, he's a neighbor of the assistant principal. One student told Fox that the suspect came from a good family. Source told Heavy that his family has an address in Sunflower Court. We found Tina Freeball, who lives there and acts as the assistant secretary treasurer for the community. So she's in politics. Sam King listed in living in the same community. So this principal knew him, this assistant principal. They were shocked and surprised. I know him pretty well. I've never seen any anger come from him ever. Another called Freeball a sort of a shy person. To me, he never seemed like someone who would do anything violent. He seems very upset. He never seemed very upset or anything like that. So that's the last of that article.
I'm pretty sure King is the guy who dropped the 911 call too. While they were subduing him.
This is crazy shit, man. What the hell is going on with this fucking country?
Everybody's losing their minds.
I'm telling you. Okay, so we got about a little less than 10 minutes. I want to hit on this other story here real quick. Lance just dropped me a link. Hang on.
Thank you, Lance.
That's a YouTube video. I don't know if we'll have time to hit it, brother. I want to talk about this really quick.
Yeah, it's 1 minute. It's a Clive Bundy update that just came out a little while ago.
Well, okay. Well, we might hit it on Friday then or something. This Ebola virus looks like the World Health Organization and CDC are going to really blow this thing up. So expect this virus to go viral. Not joking.
Huh.
I'm not joking, people.
I had a thought.
Go for it.
Well, I dropped you that story a little while ago. Is that the one you're reading? Or
the
what
one
you're
from RT. Yeah, I got one from RT on here.
Yeah, I dropped it to you in Skype a little while ago.
Yep.
And they say there's no vaccine or anything like that.
Oh, but our CDC says they're going to have a vaccine.
I
want everybody to take it.
I was about to say, wouldn't that be perfect if they came out with a vaccine?
It's in this little RFID chip. Go on.
Yep. Let's run this story up and make sure it's going to get spread everywhere. And then, oh my, we have a vaccine. Hurry up, line up and take it. And then it does something else.
Okay. West Africa is seeing the most challenging outbreak of Ebola since the disease was discovered 40 years ago. It comes in as the death toll reaches over 100, the WHO reported today. This is one of the most challenging Ebola outbreaks we have ever faced. Assistant Director of the General World Health Organization told everyone in a news briefing. The most severe cases of the illness have a 90% fatality rate, and there is no vaccine, no cure, and no specific treatment. They just lay you down in a bed and watch you die.
And I'm pretty sure the only survivals come from amputation and removal.
I think it moves too quickly for them to even think about doing that. New figures released by the WHO on Tuesday indicate that there have been 157 suspected cases in Guinea. 101 of them have already become fatal. 67 of the cases were confirmed in WHO laboratories. Ebola symptoms are hemorrhagic fever, muscle pain, weakness, vomiting, diarrhea, and in severe cases, organ failure and unstoppable bleeding. Also, the WHO is concerned that the deadly virus is spreading from the epicenter to forests and southern Guinea. We have not had an Ebola outbreak in this part of Africa before. I didn't know that. The virus is triggering panic among the region's population. We all know that. Concerning that violent reaction, Fukada stressed the importance of getting out as much accurate information as possible to communities in the counties affected and the countries affected. They do not see an end anytime soon. We fully expect to be engaged in this outbreak for another 2, 3, 4 months or longer. Other countries across West Africa have been bracing against the epidemic, with Senegal closing its borders. The situation is especially worrying to the country, which depends on it's a heavy tourist industry, I guess, with 1 million visitors in 2011. We have everything in place to take measures against Ebola. We have well-oiled system, which we are perfecting daily. Liberia has 21 cases, 10 fatal. 5 have been confirmed as Ebola. Mali has since had 9 cases, with tests so far showing 2 of them did not have the virus. It's interesting. Obviously, there's a risk that other countries might be affected. Therefore, we are absolutely need to remain vigilant. Blah, blah, blah. Ebola was first discovered in 1976 in the Republic of Congo.
In a lab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a DARPA lab. The largest ever outbreak was in 2000 in Uganda, 2001, with 425 cases, half of whom died. So it went from being a 50% mortality rate to a 90% mortality rate.
How does that happen?
Because it mutates. Or either that or they played around with it in the lab a little more. They said, hey, 50% ain't good enough.
That's
I was going to say, perfect a weapon, what do you expect it to do?
That's right.
Go ahead, guys. Talk it up.
I don't see how this thing is anything but weaponized. I really don't.
It's going to get on a plane, folks.
That's
it's
right.
going to get on a plane and it's going to leave Africa.
With
They
all
already
those
thought they
visitors.
had one case in Canada, but that turned out not to be true.
It's going to get on a Malaysia airliner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, would you
That was-
believe right after all those damn press conferences this morning about the mass stabbing and if you're watching headline news, shooting, but after all that, what did CNN do? By the way, we're still looking for the plane.
Right.
Yeah, don't forget about that distraction, everybody.
Everybody remember that?
Speaking of that distraction, there's been a few lawsuits going that way by. We'll talk about another time about that.
Yeah, I'm almost positive 4 days ago, I saw that family members are starting to sue the Malaysian government for covering up shit. I mean, they're like, this is bullshit. You people know where this plane's at. These things don't disappear. You know, there's all kinds of stuff on social media about, look, man, they got satellites that can read a newspaper from outer space. You think they lost this plane? Are you crazy? They know exactly where this plane is.
Yeah, that, and they're also suing U.S. media outlets as well,
For
big
lying.
time. Yes.
Is anybody going to sue Rothschild over the estate's rights to the patents, though? I wonder about that.
But there are no patent holders on that plane. That's already been debunked. None of the patent holders that worked for Freescale were on that plane. They're all still alive. They all still hold patent rights to blah, 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 blah.
And I'm not sure if that's not a disinformation story right there. Exactly. That, you know, the whole thing's disinformation of some sort. It's a distraction.
Dropping all these other little flags and tits and tats to keep everybody dug in on this story, so they're not watching whatever else is going on. You watch, this Ukraine shit's going to explode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of
48 hours. 48 hours.
48 hours. Go ahead, Tech.
They've been trying to sneak some extra units into the EU for the US.
Oh, absolutely. They were flying. They had A-10s flying over the coast, or not A-10s, but what's those? What's the looky down birds, man? Those Skyhawks. The
AWACS.
Yeah, Skyhawks bought me an actual boots on the ground where they're dropping extra U.S. troops.
Oh, and they got Turkey playing the bad guy, right? Turkey shot down one of Syria's planes just to try to keep everybody going back and forth on that one too, right?
Oh
yeah.
So.
Yeah. There's another little debacle with that one as well, where a few things else happening with that. Let's just say that right now. They're
sending more funding in the Syria rebels.
Yeah, it's like how Britain putting a few extra bennies towards those rocket-shouldered missiles too in Syria.
Right.
And that.
It's all, I mean, it's going in so many different directions, but let's get back on this whole Ebola thing. I want to talk this up because I guarantee you that this is going to wind up in the United States somehow, somewhere.
Well, they said that there's massive tourist industry in and around there, Senegal or whatever, you know what I mean?
Well, let me just throw it out there. If anybody gets on a plane for that destination after listening to any of this, you are a fool. But anyway. But no, these people, I mean, there might already be some folks down there that were studying or whatever, you know, Christian
Peace Corps.
Peace Corps, Christian work, whatever, trying to thump the Bible, you know, whatever. And what if one of them gets back on a plane? Or what if somebody goes down there and just kidnaps a monkey and brings it back?
Kidnaps a
Well,
like on Outbreak.
Yeah, an
Outbreak.
Virus or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Jules mentioned Outbreak and Contagion the other day.
Yeah, she did.
The other interesting thing here is that I remember when I discussed this with somebody about, 15 years ago. I guess it was around the time of that 2000 story you're talking about. You know, the thing that was coldly looked at me and told at that point in time is you really shouldn't worry about it because the carriers don't live long enough to really get out of the area. But that's not the case anymore. Yeah. I swear to you, that's exactly the attitude I was given about.
Oh, I know, and that's why they were going to just nuke the place, right? They were just going to nuke the place. Well, you know, look at the 2001, right? 2001, the Ebola outbreak happened in Uganda. 2004, I think, is when the movie came out, right? Yeah. So somebody had a little inside information on what all was going down, because I guarantee you that movie was pretty much par for the course of what they would have done had that happened.
Right.
Oh yeah, if they thought it was going to escape, they would just burn it down and create a reason why they burned it down later.
Goddamn right.
But the thing is that they really seriously felt at that time that if they just contained it, it would take care of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill everybody in a 25-mile radius around the town, and then just let the town die itself off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So. Right, and now they're going to go in there and give. I mean, I think back in the Uganda one, they started dropping crap from airplanes trying to euthanize the monkey population in the forest, or make them sterile, so they couldn't breed anymore. Because that's where they're saying that this whole shitting thing came from, was some monkey.
Well, they defoliated a whole section in there, right, to contain the wildlife. I know that happened. I don't know if that's still existent in the. In the stream out there, but
I know Monsanto's probably pumping out that Agent Orange, boy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or something just like
55-gallon drum.
Well,
or something just like it with a different label on it, yeah.
Something I possibly see that could be related here. You know, like how all these colleges and all that does the labs and all? What if a lab has an outbreak, since they're always labeled under their actual grades they're supposed to be?
That's why some of the security officers there are trained to just, contain. Again.
Okay. Well, we got a couple minutes left. I just want everybody to I wanted to give everybody a big heads up about that Ebola stuff. And you're going to find all you got to do is type Ebola in your Google bar, and you'll have about 1,000 stories about what's going on down there. So keep yourself up to speed on it. And I'd go out and buy some N95 masks, man.
Yeah.
And 100s, something like that. Just have them on hand. Have a couple in the car.
I bet you if more than 10 people die from that in the United States, it would give them a reason to declare martial law.
Well, it's not going to be just 10. There's no way that it will be limited to that many people.
Right.
That few people. No, just won't happen. So since we got a couple minutes left, I'm going to go ahead and this clip that Lance dropped me was from Josh Tolley. So we'll go ahead and run this and see what Tolley has to say about Bundy. I guess he's going to do a show about it tomorrow. He must listen to my show and
Buddy Josh Tully from the Josh Tully Show. I know people around the country and around the world are watching this story develop in Nevada. It's the story of Cliven Bundy, a rancher who's butting heads with the federal government. Now, there's obviously been some escalation. That's why national and world news is picking up on the story. But a lot of people are left with questions. What does that escalation look like? What is the next step for the government? What is the next step for the family? Is the family going to make a move as well? Well, I can tell you this. My production staff just got off the phone, literally moments ago, just got off the phone with Ryan Bundy, Cliven's son. And tomorrow, the situation's going to change. Yes, there's going to be a major development in this story tomorrow. I cannot tell you what it is because we've agreed with the Bundy family not to let the cat out of the bag. But I can tell you there will be a change. So this is what you need to do. If you've been following this story and you think this story is important, then you need to listen to the Josh Tully Show tomorrow between 9 and 11. Because Ryan has agreed.
Okay. I just gave you some free airtime. Josh, you owe me a $1 for a minute.
Old Jew's $1.
Okay. He's wearing a Nike shirt too. If they fund him. Anyway, I'm just joking. Josh. Anyhow, so tomorrow he's going to have something from the Bundy kid. They got arrested. And things are going to change tomorrow. No shit, Josh. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Okay. So anyway, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. There's nothing good that's going to come from this. If they've got balls enough to go in there and start killing this man's livestock, then it's going to escalate from there. You can bet your ass.
I agree.
Lance, you got anything? We're down to about, a minute and a half.
Nah, start stocking up on your $20 of canned goods every time you go to the store again.
Yeah.
I haven't said it lately, but it's time to go ahead and start doing that again.
Yep. I'm not going to talk about gold and silver anymore because people think that I'm stupid for doing it. You know, if you got a stockpile of a little bit of it, I don't think you're crazy. Silver has medicinal value, so I'll never diss silver, but I agree with Lance. You need to stock up on some good food. And, yeah. Don't try to ranch any cattle on public property. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks Lance. Thanks Wendy for calling in. Thanks Tech for calling in. Thanks Vincent for calling in. Thanks Chuck. I can't wait to hear you tomorrow morning, man. I'm going to listen in. If I got something to say, I'll definitely chime in too. So everybody in the chat room, behave yourselves. We will see you on Friday. Listen up for anti-media radio coming up next. I think that was my music kicking in there. Maybe not. Oh shit, I'm a minute off. Sorry.
You've got another minute.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Go stock up on some.
Well, this Bundy thing's getting everybody fired up. So it's getting all the American public getting fired up, and the European media will cover it more so than ours.
Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I was only 15 seconds off.
That's all right.
Peace and love, everybody. We'll see you on Friday. Anti-media radio is next. I'm getting ready to switch over the phones.
Have a good night, everybody.